whether the subject is the same, whether the information is the same or not, and I got 8.5 in reading.
MashaAllah.
That was something that I believe I am 100% sure that I would not have been able to achieve that without it. Because I knew that you have to touch every aspect of the question.
True.
And if I carelessly went for the answer, I would miss the point there. What should be the introduction? What should be my statement?
Yeah.
And then I decided that if I am going to agree, do I have that material to support with logic?
Excellent.
Do I have those examples to carry out that reasoning? After just completing the whole picture in my mind, I just went for writing. During these 2 to 3 minutes, I kept on reading task 1 and task 2 just to make sure that whether I had left any other mistake in there. After counting the number of lines, I just made sure that I was approximately close to 300 in the writing task 2. For the writing task 1, I was quite confused whether to use the scientific language, because I knew that the solar panels contain photovoltaic cells and photons or the light rays that are coming from the sun. The choice of proper words, yes sir, that could have improved my overall balance in writing. And for listening,
Before you move, sorry.
I had only this thing that whether it is matching or not, subject or information is matching or not. I knew that I had not that much time left to read the whole passage and understand what is going on. So I was just reading the question. I was coming back to skim that passage and see whether the subject is the same, whether the information is the same or not. And I got 8.5 in reading.
MashaAllah.
That was something that I believe I am 100% sure that I would not have been able to achieve that without it. The third thing was that during the writing module, I noticed that I was...
Please pause. I mean, wait for a while.
Please resume.
So I was talking about the writing module. So I noticed that although I was able to write complex sentences, but while writing those complex sentences, I was just wandering here and there, and I had not that much grip on controlling the grammar in writing that sentences. And another problem, that punctuation. I had no sense of putting the commas there. I was either I was missing the comma or was putting the comma in the wrong place. And that was a problem that was haunting me for a long time. And Sir Rafi Mujahid pointed out in the first lecture as well, and he kept on telling me that you have to improve that. He also informed me about a site for the punctuation guide. So I went there, I looked at the whole punctuation guidance there, and that helped me a lot. And there was another thing that I changed in my writing style. Although there was a bit of hurry for me that I had to complete the task and I had to keep the time in my mind, but as I knew that approximately 70 to 75% of the weightage was of the task 2. So I knew that if I had to score high, I had to complete the task 2 quite carefully, and I had to pay a great attention to that. So first of all, I attempted the task 2. I did not go for the task 1 because I knew that I have to pay more attention to this because it carries more weightage. So for that, I just read the question approximately for 3 or 4 times. It was not enough to just, although I understood the question for the first time, but I kept on reading for 2 to 3 times because I knew that if I missed a point there, it would, I think, subtract 1 band from my total result, because I knew that you have to touch every aspect of the question. And if I carelessly went for the answer, I would miss the point there. And for that, I read approximately 2 to 3 times, and after that, I sat there thinking about how I am going to introduce the passage there, how I am going to construct an essay, and what should be the introduction, what should be my statement.
Yeah.
And then I decided that if I am going to agree, do I have that material to support with logic?
Excellent.
Do I have those examples to carry out that reasoning? This was something that I kept on thinking for approximately 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Because I knew if I had the material, I just need 15 minutes at the most to put that into writing.
Yeah.
And that was the case. And after just completing the whole picture in my mind, I just went for writing. And after writing that, I did not
proofread
that
Yeah.
because I knew that I had to complete task 1.
Yeah.
And I went for then task 1. It was a picture.
Yeah.
And I had to just see the diagram and the process going on there. It was a solar energy panel put there, and it was used to convert the solar energy into electrical energy, and then it was used for purification of water that was drawn from the underground well dug there. So I had to convert that information given in the picture into writing. So after understanding the whole scenario, I put that into writing, and I knew that I had to spare approximately minimum 5 to 7 minutes just to proofread the task 1 and task 2. And that I did quite carefully, because I knew that I must have made a few mistakes in writing, and it definitely happened like that, because even in the class, Rafi also mentioned that my T was not matching with my T in the next sentence. My I was not matching with the next I in the coming sentence. So that was the case in my exam as well. Although I wrote quite carefully and I paid attention to these details, but there were some words that were written like T was not matching with T, and L was not matching with L. And then I, during proofreading that task 2, I paid great attention to these details, and approximately I encountered 2 to 3 mistakes that I corrected right away. And when I completed my writing task, I had approximately 2 to 3 minutes left as well. And during these 2 to 3 minutes, I kept on reading task 1 and task 2 just to make sure that whether I had left any other mistake in there, whether there is something that I had to add in the conclusion, or something that I think that should be that would be helpful to my cause. So utilize that time for that purpose. And there was also another thing that I made sure. I counted the first paragraph, the words in first paragraph, just to make sure that if I am writing 6 to 7 words in each line, then after counting the number of lines, I just made sure that I was approximately close to 300 in the writing task 2. And for writing task 1, I also made sure that I had written the required number of words, because if I was going to miss those required number of words, that was definitely going to cut my bands a bit low. So it was something that I made sure of, that I do not make a mistake in that section. And for listening,
before you move, sorry.
You are requested to please know that start your tea.
And for the listening section,
So actually, one thing, now that your bands in writing.
Yes, sir. My bands in writing were 7.0, and I just, you can say that I just say to myself again and again that I should have done a bit better. Even after exiting the examination room, the minute I exited the hall, I said to myself that I could have done a bit better. That should have taken me to 7.5, I believe, because for the writing task 1, I was quite confused that whether to use the scientific language, because I knew that the solar panels contain photovoltaic cells and photons, or the light rays that are coming from the sun. But I used that plain language to just describe that. And I know that that was my mistake. That was the reason for reduction of 0.5 or 1 band from there. Because I think that if I had used that scientific language, that would have improved my overall bands in writing.
Agree.
I think that was the reason. Because I know that there was not a blunder or something that was quite obvious in the grammatical section or punctuation section that could have deteriorated my marks. So I do not think that that was the case. And I only think that the choice of proper words, yes sir, that could have improved my overall balance in writing.
Okay, no listening. Please, you wanted to talk about your listening. I stopped you.
Yes, sir, listening. And for that listening section,
टुर गए यार दिलां दे जानी वतन चुक मुहारा उजड़ी बस्ती यारो नजरी आवे कंड कीती जद यारा